I'm Mike Hiserman, Deputy Sports Editor of the Los Angeles Times. I'm here with Kevin Baxter, who has been reporting one of the year's big stories, and that is the suspension of Alex Rodriguez and 12 other players from Major League Baseball yesterday. Alex Rodriguez has been suspended for the rest of this season, starting Thursday. The 12 others, and also for next season, the entirety of next season, and the 12 others have accepted 50-game suspensions that are taking them out of most of the rest of this season. Kevin, you were reporting tirelessly on this story yesterday. I guess the big question everybody has now is what's next, and what advice would you give Alex Rodriguez at this point?
Well, Alex Rodriguez, as he said yesterday in his press conference, is fighting for his life. He said the last 7 months have been the most difficult of his career. I would advise him just to be quiet. He gave a press conference yesterday where he didn't answer any questions, and that just led to more speculation of what is he continuing to hide. If you're going to have a press conference, answer questions. If you're not going to answer questions, don't hold a press conference. I think the best thing for him to do would be to be quiet, stop insulting his employers who have given him a lot of money, just go out and play baseball, be a great teammate, and prove to baseball that you still have something to give. The more he becomes a distraction, the more that he vacillates on this whole issue, the worse it's going to become for him.
Okay. And what is this, baseball receiving a lot of plaudits from coming down with a hammer on Alex Rodriguez and these other 12 players. But I guess the bottom line is a skeptic might look at that and say, yeah, you got all these guys, but none of them by your testing program. The way these guys were found out were by an investigation, a lot of gumshoe type investigating and reporting, but not by a testing program. So what does that say?
That's interesting. And baseball talks about its testing program, how tough it is. It's allegedly the strongest in North American professional sports, but you're right. They didn't catch any of these guys. None of these guys failed the test. And in fact, when you look at the number of failed tests for major league players, not the minor league portion of this testing program, but the major league portion, the number of positive tests have been going down over the years. That would lead people to say, well, baseball is getting better. There aren't that many drug scofflaws anymore, when in fact, we just had the largest suspension in baseball history. So the testing program, it probably does not have the teeth that people think it has. Now, Lance Armstrong was not caught by failing a drug test either. He was caught through a lot of other means, much as these baseball players were. But to say that baseball's testing program is the be-all and end-all and is the greatest thing that ever happened, it's just not true. And I think baseball is going to look back at this and say, there's something we got to do to make this a little bit tougher.
Now, are the players in favor of getting that, of being tougher? A lot of players have come out recently and said that they were glad to see these guys go down, that they're tarnishing the game. So what are you hearing from players, and where does baseball go from here?
Maybe that's the one good thing in all this, is that 10 years ago when testing program started, the players and their union were vehemently against it. They wanted all these safeguards. They kept saying, there's not that many players using, we really don't need this program. Now it's come full circle. Players are calling for more stringent penalties, and Michael Weiner, who's the executive director of the Players Union, said that they will talk about this at their executive meeting this winter. They will talk about stronger penalties. A lot of players are calling for a death penalty. If you are caught one time, you're banned for life. What the players don't like is the black eye that steroids has given the game, but even more importantly, they don't want these guys using steroids, failing the test, and then coming back and signing a new contract the next year for more money. Mm-hmm. And that has happened repeatedly. No rewards for using steroids. The penalties have to be stronger. And there's also a call for the teams to be penalized too, because there's still this feeling that some of the teams allow people to use drugs and don't get tough enough on their own players.
Mm-hmm. And what is the, was there a comment from a player yesterday that really struck you as kind of emulating what everybody's thinking about out there?
Well, actually it was a tweet from a minor league pitcher named Dan Meyer, who used to played for a number of different teams of the Marlins. He was in camp with the Philadelphia Phillies in 2011, did not make the team, lost the last spot to a guy named Antonio Basardo, who was suspended yesterday for drug use. And he sent out a tweet saying, hey, remember when we were competing for that job and you got it? You got it unfairly. It was sort of his message.
Right. Well, Kevin, thanks for your time today. We really appreciate that, and we'll be covering this story throughout the day. Kevin and other reporters, please check in with LAtimes.com to follow the latest news and also tomorrow's sports section.